Do you find yourself feeling exhausted a lot of the time? Maybe you're like me and you're in your 50s, either perimenopausal or postmenopausal, and things just get harder as we get older. If you're also like me and are still working full time, I know at the end of the day, I want to do some kind of mindful movement, but I find that I don't want to get off the floor. I just want to lie down. Hi, I'm Dr. Beth. I'm both a yoga teacher and a clinical psychologist. And so this practice is for people who want to do something intentional for their bodies, but maybe also want to do something really gentle and basic. The practice is going to be all on the floor. We're going to be especially targeting the hips and the spine, moving those parts of the body in all directions so that we can feel a little bit looser, a little bit less stiff, and so we can settle down, especially at the end of the day. The only prop I'm going to use other than my yoga mat is a blanket. You can have a couple of towels, any kind of blanket will do. So we'll start in a kneeling position. Here, the blanket is simply going to be a support for your knees. And I'd recommend opening it up a little bit. Any thicker, you might have trouble with balance. You'll see what I mean. So place your blanket. We'll come right up to kneeling on it. And then you can step your right knee forward or your right foot forward, finding a lunge. Now, before we do any movement, take a moment to stabilize yourself. You can place your fingertips on your front hip points. Check to see that your hips are pointing forward. We're going to start with a little bit of a dynamic warm up for the hips by moving around in our lunge. So let's let ourselves shift a little forward, bending the knee, letting the knee come out over the toes. You might feel this in the joints of the knee and the ankle of the front leg, the hip of the back leg. Come back in, take a step off to the diagonal around 45 degrees, shift that way again. And you can breathe and hold for a few moments. And then lastly, knee out to the side. It doesn't have to be all the way parallel with the body, but somewhere out to the side. Same thing. And come back in. Let's work our way back. Diagonal. Front. And we'll do one more round of this, moving dynamically as a little bit of a warm-up. And then we will start to move the spine in each of these positions. So first, we're getting a little movement around the hips, opening up there, and then we're going to start adding some spinal movement to it. All right, last time to the front. And again, adjust so that you feel comfortable. We're keeping the lunge upright now. You might want to scooch the front foot a little wider if you feel like you need better balance, so you're a little more stable. We're going to start moving the spine in all 6 directions it goes in, forward and back, side to side, twisting. We're going to start with our back bend. Breathe in, reach your arms up tall. Feel as if you're lifting your chest. Let the breath flow all the way up to the top of the chest. And a baby back bend here. So you start to draw your shoulders or your shoulder blades come together a little bit. Chest or upper chest starts to lift. Fingertips can simply slide a bit along the sky or the ceiling as you look up, breathing into this expansive, energetic shape. And then as you exhale, draw your spine upright, arms down, reach the left hand across to rest somewhere on the leg, and start to twist from the belly button up. Now your hips might twist a little bit, but the idea is that most of this twist happens in the thoracic spine around the rib cage, that area that gets really tight during the day, especially if we're doing a lot of sitting during the day. One last breath here. And then unwind to front. We'll start to come into our forward fold movement. Forward fold is hinging right from the hip crease, just below those points. Always you have the option of moving your leg to a different position. This practice is all about choices for you. So you could have blocks here. I'm folding into the space, resting my hands. And then another little option, especially if you want to work more on the front leg hip, is to reach the arms out in a diagonal, making this forward fold a bit of a bow. All right, we'll find one more breath here. If you are off to the side, walk yourself back around front first. Walk yourself back in. And then we're going to take the leg back out to the side lunge position for our lateral stretch. Lateral is side body. So reach the left arm up. I like to have my right hand maybe planted or resting, or you can also have the back of your arm against your thigh for support, whatever's comfortable for you. And as you bend to your right, think about now sending the rib cage in the opposite direction, the side ribs, and that might help you feel the stretch all the way down the waist into your outseam. Depending on how you have your arm, maybe you feel it all the way up into the armpit or the arm itself. One more breath. You exhale, come upright. Bring the front knee in. And you can stay upright and kneeling or sit back for a moment, little moment of awareness. Shut your eyes if you choose to do so, checking in how that first side felt. Feeling your breath, maybe taking a moment to take a breath in and then sigh it out. All right, let's explore the second side, which may show up a little differently from the first. So back to your upright kneeling, step your left foot forward this time. Remember, you have choices. You can always let the leg be a little wider if you need more stability, more grounding. Let's find this pose before we start to move. And remember, we'll do that warm up for the hip first by coming forward in the lunge. So knee comes forward. I like to keep fairly upright rather than bending forward here, so I get maybe a little bonus stretch in the hip flexor of my back knee. And you can breathe and hold for a moment. And then we'll come upright, go off to a diagonal with the front leg. Come up. Last time out to the side. And the whole time I'm breathing and feeling. I'm glad you're here with me today. I hope maybe if you're trying to let go of the day, this is starting to help you feel a little better in your body already. One more time around. After we finish this kneeling sequence, then we're going to do some moves lying on the ground, both on the front and on the back. And we'll leave with a little bit of a breath practice. I hope you'll stay toward the end to really relax after you got in some bit of stretchy movement. Last time front. All right, then find whatever the most stable position is for your front foot as we prepare to do a few poses to stretch the spine. Breathing in first. Take a breath in so it comes all the way top of your chest. Lift your chest. As your chest lifts, start drawing the shoulder blades together on the back. A little bit of an upper back bend. I feel like I'm starting to aim my fingertips to the place where the ceiling meets the wall behind me. A little bit of an energetic pose. One more breath into that. And then on your exhale, start to let the breath out carry you upright. Lower your arms, and we'll go right into the twist with letting the right arm come across, feeling that spin around our thoracic spine. You can do whatever you want with the back arm. Some days I keep it right here on my hip. Some days I reach it back when there's not a little wall behind me. Sometimes I even press my hands together. Your choice. Last breath here. And then we'll come to front and find our forward fold. So the 6 directions of the spine are front and back, that's 1 and 2, twisting to one side or the other, 3 and 4, and then our lateral, our side stretch to one side and the other, that's 5 and 6. So from here, you can walk the hands out onto the diagonal if you'd like. You also have the option of walking out the foot on the diagonal if that feels better for you. Reach out with your arms. Let your hips move away I love this one. One more breath. And then walk your hands in. You can either walk your foot back to front for a moment or go ahead and take it right out to the side because that's where we're going next, finishing our kneeling work with our lateral stretch. So remember that you can brace your arm wherever. Reach up, breathe in, exhale, side bend, lateral fold. If you want, you can emphasize the reaching out with the ribs. And as I did that, it got a nice little stretch on the side of my hip too. All right, so one more breath here. And then exhale, come up again, come back through to center. Be aware of the effects of your effort, the effects of your practice. And then we'll come to lying on our front for just one back bend here. A back bend to really help release a little bit more around the low back and the hips. I'm going to take my blanket and fold it again so that it's more in a long rectangle. That fold is going to go right at the crease of my hips where my legs meet my pelvis, and I find that helps support my back and back bends. It's completely optional if you want to try it. So I'm going to come right down, placing my blanket where I said, right into a Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose, the arms are placed so that the forearms are down. You're actively pushing into the hands to lift up your chest and also a little forward. So I'm feeling like I'm dragging my elbows toward my body so that my chest moves forward. And then I'm letting the front points of my pelvis sink into that blanket support or the mat if you're not using the blanket. Now you can stay right here with Sphinx pose. You could slide down your hands and put them near your shoulders as if you were going to do a push-up. Instead, push up into a cobra variation. And you might be surprised how much easier this feels with the blanket. You could even use a thicker prop like a bolster here if you want. I really like the expansiveness of this. I can draw my elbows and shoulders back, maybe lift my chest more forward. We'll take one more breath in whatever back bend you're doing, and then ease yourself down. Rest your head in your hands, bend your knees, and do a few windshield wipers back and forth. You can widen your knees here. We do these windshield wipers a lot, lying on our back. Doing them this way is a nice little change of pace, a nice refresh for the low back and also the hips. All right, let's push into our hands to sit up again. So for this last portion of the practice, we'll be lying on our backs. I'm again going to use the blanket, and this time it'll go just at my sacrum, so below my waistband at my low back. Blanket is still optional, but I find it helps for the release and grounding of this next series. So join me on the floor. Okay, so we're ready for the floor portion. I still have my blanket. You can probably see that. I'm going to start by simply bringing my knees in toward my chest. You can hold them or not. With the blanket support, this feels really like a nice release. Curling the tailbone a little bit. Breathing in and out a few times here. Maybe a few circles with the knees. That helps give like a gentle massage to your lower back in one direction and then in the other. You could also circle the knees apart and back together. See how that feels for you. Few gentle movements to nourish and appreciate our bodies. All right, then left foot comes to the floor, right ankle finds the thigh for our figure 4 shape. Now, depending on what your day has been like, maybe this is enough effort for you. Possibly feel a lot of stretch around the outer hip. Let the knee, the bent leg knee, move away from you so you're externally rotating even a little bit more. But if you decide you want to change up the stretch, you can let the back foot the bottom leg. Let that foot lift, draw this whole shape in toward your body. If you want to hold, hold. When I choose to hold, I don't like doing the hands threaded version, although you can certainly do that. For me, that feels scrunchy in my neck. So sometimes I just like a little gentle hand on the outer thigh, maybe a gentle hand on the other side. Really gentle pulling in for one more breath. And then release the bottom foot down. If it was up, we're going to take a twist. Knees will go left. They can either be in this exact same position or cross your knee all the way around, all the way over your front leg, and then take the knees to the left. I'm going to stay in the figure 4 position because I love how this feels on the hips. Just scooch my bottom foot and then move this whole leg shape over. Now sometimes my foot touches the floor, sometimes it doesn't. It really doesn't matter. Let your arms open up into any position. Tuck your shoulders a little bit for that spaciousness in the upper chest. And take 1 or 2 full releasing breaths here. Back through to center. Change legs. Again, the foot comes over the thigh of the other leg. And this is the important action, moving the knee away. This pose mostly targets the outer hip on the bent knee. You certainly could feel it in other places, but that's our target area. And so to get into that, if we're here with the knee, we'll feel less of a stretch than if we're actively with our muscles moving the knee away. Once you try that, you're like, yeah, this is great. Maybe you can put your hand there to remind yourself to move the knee away. And you also have that option of lifting the bottom foot, lifting without holding, maybe that gentle hold that I showed you. Maybe you prefer your hands going through. Find your hold, and like on the other side, we'll do 2 full breaths. Come down. Now you don't need the blanket under your hips for this part. I think I'm going to slide it out and maybe slide it to under my head or under my neck. We're going to now do a side stretch. We did twisting, so we'll move from side to side. I'm going to scooch away from you. So if you're following me, scooch over to the left side of your mat, extend your legs, and then slide both legs toward the right. So you're making that curve with your lower body. We'll dip the upper body in that same direction, curving our shoulders down toward our feet. A big C curve, crescent. This is also called banana asana in yin, banana pose. Now you can rearrange your legs and your arms however you want. So arms can be bent or straight. They could even be behind your head. Legs can stay extended like this, or one or the other cross over. So remember, this is a side spine stretch, and we're targeting the muscles on the outer side of the left. Arrange yourself however helps you target that area. Find your last few breaths. If you want longer holds of poses like these, definitely check out my yin practices. I love practicing and teaching yin. In yin, we get into a pose that produces a stretch like this one, and we just hold it for 3 to 5 minutes. It's wonderful. All right, unbend so that you're straight. And then I'm going to scooch over to the right side to give me a little bit more room to move left. You don't have to scooch. Maybe you're just on your carpet and no need to move. So for whatever reason, I usually start with sliding the feet over. Maybe let's be a little different. Start with sliding the upper body and then the legs. See if that feels different for you. It's the same effect either way. This time we're bending on the left, stretching on the right. However you arrange your arms and your legs, it can be different on this side because it's a different side. Get curious about where you feel the stretch on the second side. And then when you're ready, start to unbend, moving back to straight, moving yourself to the center of your mat once more. We're going to finish our floor portion with a little bit of forward bending and back bending, so the last two directions of our spine. You don't need a prop for this. I'm going to take this blanket and slide it back to where we started, under my hips. Give myself just a little bit of a support for a legs in the air or waterfall pose. So when I do this pose, I like the prop pushed even a little further down on my tailbone. You can adjust if you're using the prop. Like we did to start, bring your knees in, maybe give them a little hug. You can stay right here if this feels good, or let both feet rise toward the sky. Now this is a forward fold because here's the fold. The bend from the joint where the torso meets the legs is now in flexion. It's in about 90 degrees or so. In addition to being a forward fold, legs up is so relaxing. It's one of the most wonderful poses you could do at the end of a long day when you don't feel like doing anything. When your feet are tired, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're exhausted. Legs up is good for all of those things, and you can do it on an actual wall. That's one of the most luxurious ways to do it. Or you can do it with support under your hips, which can also feel really freeing and wonderful when you don't want to go to the trouble of finding a clear wall space. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Noticing where the breath goes in your body. Giving thought to sending it everywhere in your body, letting all parts nourish from your breathing. Last breath. And then rebend your knees, a little hug for a moment. And we'll finish with Shavasana, our relaxation pose. Now, no need to use any props if you don't want to. I'm going to sit up for a moment so that I can take the same blanket and move it toward the top of my mat. I'm going to place it right about at the bottom of my rib cage so that it runs along my spine and supports my spine. I'm short enough that I can take the top edge of the blanket, tuck it under, and form a little pillow. Now the idea of doing this, there's some extra added relaxation benefit in 2 ways. One way is that you're increasing the pressure of the lower skull right at this area below your occipital. And that is an area, the pressure there tells your body to lower your blood pressure to start relaxing. Palms can be down, resting on your body. Palms can be up, wherever you're comfortable. And as you grow quiet here in your body, the last thing we're going to add is an extended exhale breath. I did a whole video on this recently, so if you want to watch that, you can go to that video. But by extending the exhale, it's another natural signal to our nervous system to start to slow down and relax. It tells our body's rest and digest system to kick in. So how we're going to do it is we'll start breathing in and out for 4, in for 4, out for 4. And then on each subsequent breath out, we're going to lower the exhale or lengthen the exhale by 1 beat. So 5, 6, 7, until we get to double. 4 breaths in, 8 breaths out. You'll get it. If any time it feels uncomfortable, return to your own natural breath. When you're ready, breathe in for a 4 count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out to 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, same count. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe into 4, and then on the out we'll go to 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 4, out to 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 4, out to 8. In 4, out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue. Anytime you lose the pattern or your breath feels labored or uncomfortable, go back to that even breath in, even breath out. If you're still with the 4 and 8, let's do one more round together. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can continue on your own as long as you'd like. You can stay here as long as you'd like. I hope you found some benefit in this practice. Comment below to tell me what was most helpful for you. I'm wishing you a restful rest of your day.